Welcome back to the county seat. We've been talking about planning and zoning today and made a pretty good checklist of things that you should do before you purchase property or you plan to purchase property. And we've covered that. Now, there's always a fly in the ointment, and the fly in the ointment for a planning and zoning department is NIMBY. Is that not correct?
Right, and out in Duchesne County, some of the big NIMBYs right now is maybe you've got your nice little piece of paradise out there, your recreational property, and here comes an oil company that wants to put an oil well either on your property or right next door, and they've got the mineral rights to do so, and you really can't do much to prevent it. Or let's say your neighbor wants to put in a gravel pit to help build those oil well access roads and oil well pads, and you don't want to have the noise and the dust. And those are some big problems right now that we're facing.
When people get in a situation like that, how do you resolve it?
Well, with the gravel pit example, there's typically a process through the Planning Commission, typically a conditional use permit and a public hearing associated with that. And different counties will have standards on how far a gravel pit or rock crusher has to be away from homes. And so there'll be a public hearing opportunity there. With oil companies, it's a little bit more difficult in that their subsurface mineral rights might trump the surface rights, and it's more of a matter of negotiation. And
does the property owner have a negotiating leverage there, any at all?
The surface owner has a little bit of negotiation rights there, but with the subsurface rights being primary, it's not as good as they'd hope sometimes.
Is that something you should add in your due diligence at shopping for property to see if there are subsurface mineral rights allocated under that land?
It'd be very wise to do that because those split estates have caused a lot of problems and heartache because you build your dream home and then the next thing you know, you've got a gravel pit next to you, an oil well there, and your serenity is gone. And it's like somebody building on the freeway. When they know the freeway there, they don't have a right to complain. But if the freeway comes in afterwards, then they should have a say in it.
Chad, I would add that many NIMBYs are a reaction to something that's already been established in the zoning orders of the general plan of the county. Make contact with your planning department or your board of county commissioners and participate in those processes to establish the general plan and the zoning in the first instance, and hopefully you'll avoid many of these NIMBY issues that come up later on.
Well, we've certainly had a very good show today. It's moved right along at a very quick pace. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. You can watch this again on the website, and we'll have more County Seat straight ahead. And we'll look for you next week, Sunday mornings at 8, right here on ABC4. Thanks for joining us.
Politics can get pretty dirty, and in just a half hour, at your leisure, the West's #1 outdoor adventure show will take that to the extreme as Governor Gary Herbert hits the trail and discusses land access issues from behind the wheel of a side-by-side. What are his thoughts on off-highway access? What does he think about creating new trail systems? Is he as skilled in the rocks as he is on Capitol Hill? We'll have all the answers in just a half hour at 9 a.m. on At Your Leisure, right here on ABC4.